Hello, beautiful stars, and welcome to today's reading. So in today's reading, I've been wanting to do this reading for a very long time now. We are going to look into a past life of yours and find out what important message they want to bring forth to help you in this moment in time. And what we're going to do is we are going to pick a past life or let spirit one of your past lives to come through, get that energy, and then we'll let spirit pick your tarot, oracles, Lenormand, other decks in regards to that energy that's coming through from a past life. Okay, so for pile 1, please, spirit, can we have a past life for pile 1 come through, please? And we have that one. And for pile 2, okay, we'll shuffle from this one. I feel it's this one. Okay. Pile 3. Let's have, I feel like this one, yeah. And pile 4. So yes, there will be 4 piles today. That's what spirit told me. Okay, this is the one. All right, let's review these lovely stars, and then we'll look. We'll let spirit choose the other decks in regards to these past lifetimes. All right, so for the first one, we have the energy of secrets. The second pile, we have energy of the devil. For the third one, we have the energy of burn. And the fourth one, we have the energy of murder. Okay. All right, and let me pause the video right here, and then we'll select your deck, and then we'll come back and we'll add those, and you can choose your pile from there. All right, lovely stars. So spirit has chosen your other decks already, and very interesting energy coming through already. I don't want to bias you anyway, so we're just going to show you each representative tarot and Lenormand for each pile, and then I'll show you the artwork on each. These are just representative cards, so it may or may not show up in the reading, but these we will take in the reading as we have shuffled them already. All right, so for pile 1, we have this tarot, and this is its artwork. For Lenormand, this is the back, and this is the artwork. Okay, pile 2, this is your tarot, and this is the artwork. And we have 2 for your Lenormand to show you. This is the back, and these are the artwork. And pile 3, this is your tarot, and this is the artwork. This is the Lenormand, and this is the artwork. And pile number 4, this is your tarot, and these are the artwork. Okay. And this is your Lenormand, and this is the artwork. All right, lovely stars, so take a moment to tune in. Take a nice deep breath. See which pile or piles called out to you. There may be more than one message for you. So take a moment to choose your pile. Go to the timestamps in the description below, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading. All right, so the format we have for this is the main energy of your past life, strengths that are coming through, challenges or weaknesses from that lifetime coming through, their main message for you in regards to your current present lifetime, or a message they want to convey from that lifetime. And then we have practical advice from you, Lenormand, here. All right, so let's look into the energy of your main past life here. So we have secret exposed, secret agenda, secret affair, and kept in the dark. And the overall energy is secrets. Okay. I'm getting a nobility feeling, or someone of wealth and status, but kind of trapped in their situation. It's kind of like being, say for example, the king or the prince. The prince or the princess of a king, right? There's, you have nobility, you have status, and you have power. But at the same time, you are confined to certain requirements, certain duties, certain obligations, like arranged marriages, taking care of the court, following your father and mother, who's the king and queens, kind of, yeah. We do get a feeling that this, so that was just an example, but possibly, what is the timeline for this spirit? We do have kind of a 20s looking person here, and we are getting somewhat of that. Yeah, so around the 20s, being in, perhaps a rich, more, well-off family, yes. But being also in the confines of such a position. Okay, anything else we have coming through for this? Yeah, it feels very that kind of parental oppression energy coming through in this lifetime. Yeah, as if you were a son or a daughter, or a child of somebody, or somebody's who was well off, is what's coming through mainly. Okay, interesting. Also coming through right now. So yeah, around the 20s, but also in the 1800s as well. So same energy here, but okay. Let's look at the strength of what we've got going on here. We have the fire of earth with primal pulse. Okay. And then we have the celestial of celestial, immaculate imperfection. So with these energies falling into your strength sector, yes, having a lot of power, but there we go again, not being able to express it because it was in the confines of something, right? It's like here, the power, the dormant power of magma in a volcano waiting to erupt, but it's encapsulated in that volcano. There was something you want to become in this past lifetime and kind of break free as well. We talked about, that kind of confinement, constricted, obligated feeling. Something wanting to be expressed is what's mainly is coming through. Some sort of talent, like in the 20s, even in the 1800s, being kind of like a clairvoyant or a psychic, or what they called back then a spiritualist. Some sort of psychic ability. Yes. That's why it had to be kept a secret. It wanted to be exposed, but it's in the framework of, well, you can't do that. I'm a wealthy, let's say that parental figure, right? It's like, oh, I'm a wealthy fisherman. Like, I can't have a daughter or a son who claims to be a psychic. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's gonna ruin the family name. It's kind of that energy coming through here. Very interesting. So it's some sort of intuitive ability or innate ability that you had, and you wanted to express it, but you couldn't because of the obligated duty or oppression from the family wealth or business. So that's why you have to keep it a secret. Interesting. And secret agenda is coming through here. So let's see what your past life had planned. So we have this as for the challenge or the weakness here. You feel like you had to go away or alone into the woods is what this image is conveying, but it's the energy of the hermit coming through here for me. It, in a way, was kind of a lonely life. There were some friends that you had that you could talk to in this lifetime, but for the most part, it's, yeah, those you were quote unquote close to, like the family members, that was kind of the structure of that and the energy of that was so oppressive that you couldn't really express who you were in regards to this ability. There were a couple of friends, but you couldn't really convey it to the family. And that's why it felt very lonely. It's the energy that's coming through, very hermit, like reclusive, drawing away, withdrawing within yourself in order to embrace your ability. It's like, it's almost like being like a witch in the woods or something. It's like, in order to practice and be who you are, you had to take yourself away from society in order to do it, especially when you didn't have the approval of the family. Okay, so let's see what the message is. Do you know the real reason the rich keep getting richer? No, besides interest income. No, besides me pulling the strings for them. Right, the thoughts they think, thoughts anyone can think, that make those other things happen. Yank, the universe. Very interesting. Some words coming through here. So yeah, you felt like the main challenge is you were being pulled, yanked or pulled between this life and another life, and the life of the social status, the front image that you had to put on for the world, and then this other private life that was kept hidden underneath or in secret because you couldn't expose it. And it's funny how we were talking, the richer came through here. Because when Spirit chose this oracle, I was like, well, this is Spirit's messages on abundance. Like, how would that tie into? But of course, Spirit synchronistically picked things for a reason. And yeah, we talk about the richer, or that wealthy aspect of the family, right? And all I saw from this was like, no, 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 with all these things. And then the thoughts. And thoughts that bounced up here were our opinions of those around you, opinions of society, opinions of the family that kept you from, that kept you stifled, kept you quiet, not wanting to really share or reveal this ability with those around you. Okay, let's see what the main message coming through in regards to what this past life really wants to convey to you here. Let's shift this here. Okay, so we have the Queen of Wands. The Five of Wands. The Ace of Pentacles. Interesting, okay. The Ten of Wands. And we have the Star. Okay, the main message that this past life wants to convey. It's so we talked, it was an internal struggle within yourself. You were this brilliant star, this very highly intuitive psychic, or whatever ability you had was an enormous ability. It had so much potential to it. And was this ever realized, Spirit? Was this... No, okay, that's why. Yeah, so the main message that was coming through here is, yeah, you have this amazing ability, whether it's psychic or otherwise, wanting to, or something new agey or a new concept that you really want to expose, but you are internally struggling and fighting with yourself, as if you were between, like, almost felt like you were stabbing yourself in the foot every time you try to express this ability. Like, there's just, all you wanted was a harmonious way to what I heard when I picked this up was like music to my ears. Like, you just wanted to bring that forth, like a beautiful melody to the world, but it was an internal struggle. And yeah, the advice coming through here during that time, which wasn't able to be realized, is like, you were the Queen of One, you were the star, and you wanted to have that exposure, but you couldn't. And the only way that at that lifetime that was available to do that was to abandon the wealth aspect of it. So with the Ten of Wands and the Ace of Coins here, the way to begin anew within that timeline was to kind of abandon that life of wealth and heritage that was in the family in order to start like brand new. But in order to start brand new, you had to leave all that wealth and all that prestige of the family name behind in order to do that. Because to you, what was the point of having all that wealth if it didn't make you happy, right? Yeah, it's what's the point of carrying that burden of wealth and staying in the family name and perpetuating the name by getting to perhaps the family business or something? Could have been oil business too as well. But yeah, you were kind of torn, especially strongly internal struggle between conveying this ability and then perpetuating and staying with the family name. So for your Lenormand, we have the shape of, it's not exactly a dagger, it's just a pointed item, and all I got was it was kind of triangular or cone shape, and it's a sharp pointed item. Yes, that's all I had. So we have the shape here, 1, 2, and 3. So it's going in this direction. It's a pointed shape, like a cone or a sphere. I mean, sorry, not sphere, a cone or a triangle, going this direction. Okay, so the first card we have here is the Ring, with promise, honor, commitment, partnership, cooperation, and cycles. The main one standing out was promise and cycles. Okay. And then we have clouds, confusion, unclarity, misunderstanding, insecurity, doubts, and hidden secrets. Talk about secrets. Okay. And next we have the dog with loyalty, friendship, a follower, devotion, obedience, and support. Okay, so what do we have here? Strongly, okay. There was some sort of committed obligation to the family name still. That's why you were so confused about where to go, what to do, hanging on to this secret ability of yours. And the main thing is, yes, you were able to find solace and comfort in a couple of friends that we talked about, right? And that's reiterated here. What is the main message overall that this lifetime wants to convey, Spirit? Choice. The main thing was choice. How did this lifetime pan out, Spirit? How did this lifetime pan out for number one? Yeah. Okay, so it's they told me earlier, and then it's a reconfirmation now. It's because you felt obligated to the family aspect. You kind of stuck out with it, and stuck out with the family aspect, and you were only able to find comfort in expressing this talent or this ability, this creation, through only a small group of friends, maybe just one or two or a couple of friends. But it's like keeping your talent and your ability deep to yourself. And in the lifetime, which when I asked earlier, it's like, what was the main message? What's like, or did this ability ever was allowed to flourish? And the answer was no. It's like, here Spirit's guiding you in that lifetime, telling you it's okay to express it, and you had the choice to do so, but you chose to stick with the family aspect, or your commitment to the family name or whatever, because there was some sort of obligation, it was some sort of duty. So yes, and so the message coming forth that this past lifetime really wants to convey is hinting on choice, right? Choice of what you want to do in this lifetime. So in this lifetime right now, the biggest main message coming through right now is, if you're stuck between something you feel very obligated towards and something that you feel like you are passionate about and wants to work on, but perhaps it's not so well acknowledged in the world, in your community, or perhaps there's some sort of obligation or duty you feel constrained to, there's a choice to move away from this. And your this past lifetime really wants to encourage you to explore your passion, and really go forth and explore your abilities, explore what you really want to, and what you really desire to be expressed in this lifetime, in the current present lifetime. It's what's mainly coming through. Perhaps there's another way to do it. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It could be the choice is up to you. Maybe there's ways to find support for whatever you want to express or convey or create, without sacrificing the obligation or whatever you feel already committed to. Okay, I think, that was what this past lifetime wanted to convey to you, lovely stars. Okay. Any other messages we have for pile number 1, please, Spirit? No, we're talking about choice, and we're encouraging you to pursue your passion while at the same time managing what you feel already connected to. All right, lovely stars, that was your reading. If you found it helpful, insightful, please give that like button a tap. Subscribe if you haven't already for more messages. Have a wonderful, magical day. I wish you the best. Take care, shine bright, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye, number ones. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. All right, so we have a format here of the main energy of this past life. We have some strengths that are coming through, some challenges that this life wanted to convey, a main message or advice, or a message that this past life really wants to tell you or let you know about. And then we have practical advice for you. And your Lenormand here is in the shape or form of a circle, a globe, or like a crystal ball. Yeah, something of that nature. All right, so let's look right into it. So we have the energy of the devil here. We have exorcist, dark magic, possessed, and cursed. Okay, so this energy, spirit pile number 2, very powerful energy when I was doing the pile selection. I mean the card selection, the spirits coming through. So yeah, you could have been somebody who tapped into the what do you call it? The metaphysical realm, the spiritual realm is what's mainly coming through. I hear paranormal investigator. I also see like a tarot reader, divinatory mystic. Yeah, that kind of energy. So primarily somebody who knew, either knew or was curious about tapping into the metaphysical realm or the spiritual realm. So yeah, so some of you, because yeah, we're getting 2 energy here coming in with this. Yeah, one is curious and tapping into it, and one is knowingly knowing how to tap into it. It's the main energy, and they do a lot of so whether some of you were curious in this lifetime, or some of you were adepts in regards to this field, this magic, this spiritual realm. You dove a lot into it, or you had a lot of experiences with it, is what's coming through. Okay, and let's see. Yeah, you certainly worked with other people in either helping them solve mysteries in regards to the spiritual realm, or working with spirits, mediums, spiritualists, things of that nature. But yeah, okay, wow. Also curing people's pain and ailments, is that coming through? Indirectly, yeah, because working with the spiritual realm and helping places and like haunted places heal, or haunted houses, things like that. So you were a medium or spiritualist, definitely working along the lines of that. But yeah, those are the main energies coming through here. Let's look at what your strengths were in regards to this past lifetime. So we have Ubud. Definitely, okay. The opener of ways, or the veil piercer here. And then we have Bastet. Okay. Yes. So we have the energy of, well, let's talk about Ubud first. Piercing the veil, connecting the veil between the spiritual world and the physical world. You naturally traverse this, and being Ubud here with the energy of this god, with being the opener of ways. You basically did what we confirmed and talked about here, like exorcist. Sorry, I didn't read these. Exorcist, dark magic, possessed, and cursed. Yes, so removing, lifting these things, or working with this realm and this energy to kind of pierce the veil. It's like, okay, I can identify, or I can feel the energy in your place, or like there's somebody who wants to talk to you from the other side. Basically, that was your energy. And not only that, oh, yeah, okay. Strong exorcist energy here, expelling. Yeah, they gave me that that sign very clearly. So expelling here, we have the energy of Bastet, but usually Bastet means or brings the energy of celebration. But what we were called to here, or what I was called to, was the instrument that Bastet used, which is called the sistrum, and it's a musical instrument used in celebration and ceremony. But what happened was often it was also used by temples and priests and priestesses as well, to clear out the energy before invoking the gods or inviting the gods into a space. So it's a very clearing kind of like, you almost think of it like smudging too. So clearing energy. is one of the aspects of this lifetime, the strength that's coming through. So piercing the veil, exorcising demons or spirits from attaching or hanging on to places or people was a specialty of yours, and clearing spaces and energy too. Okay, so let's look at the challenges that came with this lifetime. So we have Delightful Dear, Enlightenment, Connection, and Divination. Mystical Companion of the Fairy Folk, bless me with your sharp sense of sight. Okay. Yes, so definitely have the sight. Next we have Plucky Possum with strategy, integrity, and sensibility. Secretly strong and seemingly simple one. Secretly strong and seemingly simple one. Show me the way of strategic gameplay. Interesting energy here. Okay, and the last one we have is Tranquil Turtle. Endurance, commitment, and serenity. Spirit of the Great Mother Goddess, strengthen my connection to the earth. Okay, so a couple of challenges here. You had an issue with giving and receiving in regards to these abilities, these strengths, what you were able to do. It's it's almost as if you didn't want to. It reminds me of like the Ghost Whisperer, if anybody's ever seen this show. Basically, it's about a medium who goes around and talks to ghosts and helps them move on. But she never did it for money. Like she had a side job with her consignment shop or something like that. But yeah, and that's the same energy we're getting through to here. It's like you definitely had the vision, you definitely had the gift, you had the power, you had the ability, strongly so, no doubt about that. But there was some sort of issue in regards to doing this for free and doing this and allowing yourself to receive compensation for it. And this card might tie into it because we're talking about I think because the main energy that's coming out and that's kind of relating to this is perhaps you were approached by some people that wanted to make you offers. It's like, hey, we know you're like a medium or a spiritualist or like a psychic or whatever, and we want to recruit you into our organization, our program, and that made you feel uncomfortable or not at ease because it seems exploitive. I think that's the right word. It seems like you wanted to do this for the utmost sense of just doing it for helping other people. That's why you were having trouble with receiving compensation for it. And when you were approached with other people who were strategic or using this perhaps almost in a negative way too, not only like in inducting or recruiting you into their program of Ghostbusters or whatever, but there was also an element in regards to these people that wanted to exploit people's emotions, right? They wanted you to be a fake psychic perhaps, or like a charlatan. It's like somebody who goes around and tells people what they want to hear in regards to their past ones or their loved ones, just to exploit the emotions they have. And that's why it never sat well with you, and to receive compensation for the abilities that you have. So those were some of the challenges that came up. And the other part of the challenge here is eventually over time you grew tired of it. You grew tired of I don't feel like you grew tired of your ability of doing this, but I felt you grew tired of, and we see the connection, the confusion that coming out through my words as well. It's that whole going back and forth. You felt tired of this whole process of trying to help people, trying to help somebody in the family or maybe parts of the family, saying like, Dad, don't believe in this fake psychic or this fake medium, like he or she is not real. And then you got tired of dealing with all that aspect because there were people out there who were charlatans, and that gives a bad name to people who are actual psychics or mediums, and spiritualists. And so you got tired of all the nuances, basically, of working in this field. Yes. Okay, so we wrap up that energy. Let's look at the main message that this past lifetime wants to convey here. So we have the Two of Pentacles. Ties right into this energy here. We have the Queen of Wands. We have the Six of Swords. Passage, helping to move on. Okay. 2 messages coming here. And 4 of Swords. Yeah. So the main message that this past life wants to convey, yes, it was a juggle and it was a struggle. It was wanting to move away to distant land or moving away out of these challenges and just, being tired of it, tired of the nuances of it and going back and forth. But it was difficult for you because this ability came so naturally, so powerfully. Remember what I mentioned earlier when I talked about before we did the reading, about sensing your energy is coming. You're somebody who was very powerful. You have the gods and the goddesses coming through here. So very strong in your ability in regards to this field. Very strong and healing in terms of helping other people move away or deal with death and passage. And also for those of you dealing with the realm of exorcism, removing or helping spirits move on and then removing, clearing the space and the energy in regards to like demons or negative energy, things like that. And it gave a lot of solace and comfort to those that you help. So that's why it was such a struggle and a juggle to go back and forth, like, well, I want to keep doing this because it comes so naturally, so strongly to me, but then I don't want to deal with the nuance of the accusations and the charlatans and things like that. Yeah. Okay, so and Lenormand makes sense now that we have a crystal ball. I was wondering what that was all about, but now that makes perfect sense. So yes, we have a crystal ball coming through for your Lenormand. Yes, and it absolutely makes sense with tapping into the mystic, scrying, mediumship, things of that nature. Let's review the cards here. So we have the clouds. We have the birds, in this case the owl. And we have the child. Yeah, so the practical advice here, and we'll tie this in together with the tarot a little bit too, and your entire message coming through here. Yes, you were a common household name because you were so good at what you did. People were like, oh, did you hear about part number 2? Like, they just help, exercise this spirit that kind of took over so-and-so's child. And your name spread, like wildfire. But yeah, the main challenge was, the uncertainty and that juggling between, do I stay and work in this field? Do I move on because I'm tired of it? But I'm so still linked to it because it's all I know what to do. It's what excuse me, what I'm really good at, we also have a note there to to reconfirm that for you there. We got a ding there. But yeah, wanting to start anew. And, you know, I feel like not only this, you've been at it for a while. And what we mean is throughout your incarnations, you acquire an old soul that have been doing this for a while now, many lifetimes. So that's why it comes so naturally to you. It comes so, second nature to you. And you're so adept and so good at it. And the main message here is you can still continue helping other people in this lifetime. Perhaps some of you are doing this in this lifetime still. And the main message that this past life wants to convey is that if you want to start something new, or you want to venture into a new lifetime and do something else, or follow a new passion, you can. You don't have to waver and feel so obligated to do this lifetimes after lifetime. It's just weighing out the pros and cons of doing this, right? The pro is, you know, having it as a natural ability and being able to help people in so many ways. The con is that having to deal with, you know, the charlatans and the accusations and things like that. So it can be quite annoying. And of course, the choice is up to you. But the main message that this lifetime wants to convey, this past lifetime wants to convey, is you are natural at it. You can really help people with it. And if you want to, you could start anew, something else. But yeah, this ability comes strongly. So perhaps for some of you, that can be a verification, a confirmation that if you're doing this currently in your present life, it's a natural thing that comes to you. And if you feel a calling to it, then it's something you can pursue. But that's entirely up to you if you want to continue pursuing it in this lifetime or start a new path altogether. All right, Pile2, that was lovely, wonderful to hear. If you found that message insightful, helpful, fun, go ahead and give that like button a tap, subscribe if you haven't already for more messages. I wish you a wonderful magical day. Thank you so much for joining me today. Take care of yourself, shine bright, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye, Pile2. Hello, Pile3. Welcome to your reading. Okay, so our format here is your main energy of the past life, of course. We have the strengths coming through from this lifetime, and we have the challenges that this lifetime has faced or wants to convey. Then we have the main message that this lifetime really wants to convey, and then the practical advice for you here. And with your Lenormand form, maybe we'll find out what this means later in the reading, and hopefully so, but we have the shape of a swing. I see the side of the swing is of rope, and it's entwined by flowers or plants or leaves or something like that. And then the seat of the swing is made of wood. Okay, so we have wooden swing covered by vines or leaves or flowers. All right, so let's dive straight into it. Let's look at the energy of your past life here coming through. So we have branding, house fire. The main energy is burn, with the description of branding, house fire, persecution, and book burning. Okay. Okay, so what's the main energy coming through here? We see you almost needing a rescue. It's the main energy that's coming through here with quote-unquote burn. Because what did I need rescuing from? It was a situation, it was people. It felt like a group of people or some sort of mass group that was either persecuting you or against you for something. Yes. Okay, what is this group in regards to, Spirit? Why were they persecuting Pile number 3 in this past lifetime? So yes, of course, the Salem witch trials come through. That's one possibility. But persecuting you for a talent or ability you have, I see a male form getting chased out of a city or a community because they didn't accept what he brought to the community. But it feels like this past lifetime, the main energy is coming through is I see you like very well dressed up, like a gentleman, like with a top hat and like a what's that coat called? It's like a split coat. Yeah, bringing this new idea, like say like a science idea or something, or a new invention. And I see the crowd or the group in that town or that city or in that mass as not that intelligent or not that accepting of new things. So that's why they chase him out. It's kind of like when somebody comes up with a new scientific invention and the established order or community either don't want their powers challenged or don't perceive new inventions as valid, or basically they're really stuck in whatever they have going on, so they chase whatever new ideas come into light. So that's the energy we're getting here with this. Okay, let's look at, and the main one that came up for me was branding. And branding, yes, we talk not the kind of branding we think about when you're branding a cow or something with a hot poker. Branding and persecution comes out here. Even a little bit of book burning as well, which means you bringing that innovative idea, you have a brand that you want to establish or some sort of novel new idea, and the crowd chasing you out because they are too stuck or rigid to realize something beneficial when it lands right in their face. It's the way Spirit wants to put it. Basically, yes, saying that they are quite dull and dense in receiving new inventions or creations. All right, let's look at the strength from that lifetime that's coming through here. So we have leaping through the air. Yes, a plan you have made is on track. If you're waiting for something, get to work and stop putting off ideas or projects you are considering. This energy, you were way ahead of your time. You were leaping through the air, leaping through generations, leaping through eras, creating whatever you were creating. And that's why they chase you out of the water here. You were, what's that word? Please help me out here, Spirit. Okay, avant-garde, somebody who was before their time. That kind of energy coming through here. That was one of your strengths. This really innovative, intelligent, ahead of their time, genius kind of person. Yes. Clearing the excess. You are entering a transitional phase and would benefit from clearing away excess clutter, whether it is in your physical body or physical space. Okay. Okay, not quite sure. Okay, what is the energy of this, Spirit? Why is this coming through? What was the strength here? Clearing the excess. I think this has more to do with your invention. Oh, Roundup. Interesting. 2 messages coming here with Roundup. So you were able to, if you think of Roundup, it's like collecting something, literally what it means, right? Rounding up. You were able to create something really novel, really genius, that is able to perform many functions, like rounding everything up all at once, but in a very simple structure. And perhaps that's why you were chased and persecuted, because the second message coming here with Roundup is we're talking about the pesticide here that's prevalent in a lot of and we're not going to get too much into it here, but basically a company called Monsanto came up with a pesticide called Roundup, and research over the years show that it's a carcinogenic. It can cause it has high potential to cause cancers, and so it was basically and I don't know if it is still being debated in terms of policy and creation, but basically the pesticide, the chemical itself, is in our soils and in the things that we eat now. And perhaps you coming with an invention to like literally ram up all these chemicals and clean the environment here, as we see, was not beneficial for those who were in power to because when you bring out that truth or that knowledge, it's like, hey, what you're eating is toxic and is carcinogenic. It's not good for you. I have this invention, this creation that can help clean up the environment of all those toxins and chemicals. And the people who are creating that chemical and pesticides, like, hey, what are you doing? You're ruining my business. So they try to chase you out of town and basically burn you alive, or try to off you and persecute you. It's like, oh, don't listen to pile number 3 here. They were just, so you were ahead of your time in your creation and possibly in helping the environment here, or some sort of creation that you were chased out or persecuted for, because the operating control power at that time was not going to allow you to help other people, because they had their own selfish agendas to perpetuate their product. Okay, so let's look at some of the challenges that came through in regards to this lifetime. We have water. What is overwhelming you in your waking life? How are you traveling emotionally in life? Are you struggling to reach your goals? Yeah, that ties back to this water here and conservation energies. The energy is coming through for me. Animals, do you feel free or stifle? Is your situation making you feel caged or unhindered? Would you like to take some new risk? Exactly. Tying both of these energies in amazingly. We have working for the animals, the environment, but at the same time being stifled, being blocked, being oppressed, being quieted, being persecuted, and perhaps jail or cage for taking new risk. Amazing. We see the eyes on you here of those wanting to get rid of you in this past lifetime. And the last challenge coming through is awakening. Your consciousness is awakening. You are becoming attuned to the message of the spirit and nature. Trust your psychic abilities. Okay. The energy that's coming through here was, I feel you could have gotten relief on a distant shore if you were able to reach some key figures, some key people. That would have kind of skyrocketed. But the main energy that was coming through was, so you brought it, but it fell upon deaf ears, or people with different agendas, and they did not want you to ruin their product or their secret or their poison that they were creating. Looking at you with very vehement, malicious eyes here. So yes, working way before your time, cleaning up the environment, helping animals, helping plants, nature, the water, conservation. Quite an enlightening individual you were in this past lifetime, but being chased out due to that ingenious nature that you held in this lifetime. All right, let's look at the main message coming through in regards to this lifetime and what it wants to say or convey to help you in this current lifetime. We have the Knight of Waves or Knight of Wands with Seek New Horizons, precisely tapping into this energy here. And we see water and animals again coming well for you. Wow. Okay. Okay. And we have Six of Pentacles with sharing abundance. Precisely. Okay, exactly. We have Justice, inner reflection. We have Three of Clouds with Saturate, or Three of Cups. And we have Three of Swords with Locked in Eyes. Okay, that's the message coming through here. Absolutely lovely. So your ingenious idea, your skills, your creation in this past lifetime was meant to be shared with the right people, Pile number 3. That is where you get in what you put out, or you get the due comeuppance, or the due respect, or the due compensation for your energies, for your effort, with the right people that you can celebrate with. And we have interesting a duality here. We have two threes, right? Three of Cups and Three of Swords. One is saturate and the other is locked in. So with Three of Cups, well, the energy they're pointing out here of threes in general. So first is creation, arising, beginning. 2 is duality, and then 3 is where you break out that duality to create the first change or something new. And that change can be beneficial if you align with the forces or the people or the energy that is conducive to that change, or that change can be met with a lot of resistance if you are met with forces that are not in alignment with that change. And that's the message. It's interesting for all the piles thus far. I don't know pile number 4 yet, but for all the piles thus far, we're talking about choice here in all of the piles in regards to their main message that's coming through. It's like a repeated energy form. But yes, so had you lined up, let me ask Spirit real quick here. Were they able to, okay, well, okay. That's a strong no. Was pile number 3 able to kind of get their invention or their goals accomplished, Spirit? Okay. Ultimately, in this past life, no. But, and I think your pile so far is the only one that had a but in regards to this. But your ideas did not die down. It trickled down to other people. It's like somebody in the society, even though there was a huge governing party that's like, no, get out of our town, we're gonna cage you, we're gonna jail you, you're trying to destroy our product. Your ideas did leak through and did pass on to some minor circumstances. And that's why we see the movement now coming in this lifetime. What is it in regards to this lifetime, Spirit, that pile number 3 is working on? Okay, we have a word of advice and caution for you, pile 3. If you're working currently on a project that is very innovative, very creative, make sure you bring it to the right people. and working with the right people, with the same alignment, with the same intention. They really want me to speak to this. They also are giving me an example that is going to be very important here. We need to speak about this. So back in, I don't know, it was like the 80s or something like that. Don't quote me on this. I just heard of this story, but it's been so long that I don't remember the exact details of it. Either in the 70s or the 80s or something like that. There was a guy, I think somewhere in Mexico, he came out with a creation. Oh my god, man, wow. Oh, okay. Give me a second, stars. They give me major shivers. Maybe this was you in that past lifetime. Because we're talking about water here, working so much with water. Anyways, this guy in Mexico, somewhere around there, came up with the creation of being able to run cars on water, which is an amazing idea, and not only an idea, amazing creation way before its time, right? That's why we have so much water flowing through here in your deck. We have the water deck, we have a water deck here. Anyways, and we see the contrasting energy of fire here too, meeting with resistance. But going back to the story, so this guy, in Mexico came up with this amazing, incredible, marvelous creation and idea of being able to fuel cars, have cars running on water. But of course, what did he do? He went to the car company and told them about this idea, and of course we never hear from him again. So the main message and lesson to take from that story is knowing who to align with, knowing who to work with, and knowing who to go to, because other people who have other interests and agendas will try to stifle you, will try to quiet you, silence you, and basically off you if their agendas are not in alignment with your own. So for the current lifetime that you are in Pile number 3, if you are working on something that's quite ingenious, that is new agey or quite out there, make sure you align with people who are on the same wavelength and one that are really making sure that you are working with people who are wanting to create the same thing you want to create. So if you're working, say like in environmentalism, for example, and you have this very genius idea of providing clean water or cleaning up the oceans or something like that, or providing clean water to those who need it, make sure you line up with or talk to people who are 1000% behind supporting that and helping nature and the environment or things like that. So that's the main thing, because it can go either way. It's the main message that this lifetime is bringing forth, right? Because it can be met with great celebration and great alignments, or it can be met with great injustice and silencing of your ideas. Okay, so let's look to your Lenormand here. And like we said, we have the shape of a swing. So here are the 2 ropes, and these are the this is the wooden seat that the swing is attached to. So we have the man. Interesting. Okay. And we have the dog. Okay. And then we have the anchor. More water symbolism for you here. Even in here, there's more water here. And then we have the cross. Yes. That makes a lot of sense here. Okay. So at the seat of the issue, so to speak, where our wooden seat here is, you were working in paradigms or in structure that was very well anchored or systems that were very well developed. So we talk about, we go back to the example of the guy in Mexico with the innovative idea, right? When he brought it to the car company with its multi-distribution and links not only around the world, but to everything that is linked to that with the oil company and etc. and so on and so forth. Like very powerful, established institution that are very stuck in their ways and wanting to perpetuate their agendas. And two messages I got here was, one is the man, quote unquote, the man, which is representative of the organizations that are established and that are in power, wanting to keep things as it is, as you can see here, with these couple paved streets, as opposed to this lush, rich nature in the background, and is separated by water in here. So the man or the institution wanting to keep things the way it is, and from preventing people to experience this luxurious Eden that they could experience, and you were the middle way to get them there. But having to find the right people to support you. And the dog here is representative of the companions, or the same aligned people with the same ideas, goals, that will allow people to access this wonderful creation that you have, this knowledge, this creation, this ingenious mind that you have, or things that you can come up with. So that is the main messages coming from this lifetime, pile number 3. Whatever you're working on, this past lifetime is coming for to tell you to make sure to align with the right people, or the right support, or if you're going to partner up with companies and things like that, make sure they are in alignment with the same vision you have. Yes. Wow, very interesting. Yeah, perhaps you were that guy who we could now be running on cars with just running on water. Lovely stars. All right, Pile 3, that was your reading. If you found it insightful, fun, helpful, please give that like button a tap. Subscribe if you have not already for more messages. I wish you a wonderful, magical day. Take care of yourself, shine bright, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye, lovely stars. Hello, Pile 4. Welcome to your reading. Okay, so we have a format here. Your energy is quite interesting, Pile 4, and your choices here are also quite interesting. You're the only deck who had 2 of these, for 2 tarot and 2 Lenormand for your selection process. And also you are the only deck who has a tarot versus an oracle for their challenges here. So let's explain the format here. We have the main energy of this past life. We have the strengths coming through for this past life. We have the challenges. We have a main message, or the most important message, or the main message that this past life wants to convey in your tarot. And we have Lenormand for practical advice of how to proceed in your present lifetime. And your Lenormand shape is a conch shell. I see it on the beach, and it has a very spiky size or spikes to it. All right, so let's dive into the energy of this main past life here. So we have the energy of murder and poison, with witness, murder, suicide, and murderer. Okay, so what is the main energy of this past life coming through for pile number 4, please, Spirit? Okay, so witness stand out, and I also hear witness protection program. So yes, either you worked in an agency. Okay, they're expanding on the message. Either you work in an agency who helps people go into the witness protection program, or you worked as what's the right word? Is it a wayfarer? No, not exactly. As somebody who gave kind of like passage to those in need, or shelter passage in those in need. One of the main things coming up for me here is the Underground Railroad. So basically, for those of you who don't know what the Underground Railroad was in America during the time of slavery, when slaves would try to escape because they were brought there as slaves against their will. So when they tried to escape their master, what the Underground Railroad was it was a unit of just various people and places that the slaves could go to for shelter, and then to move on to the next shelter to eventually reach wherever they were going for their destination, towards safety, towards freedom. So that's the energy that's coming through here in this past lifetime. You were somebody who gave either shelter or nourishment or just safety to help those on their path. Think of it like refugees too as well, right? The people of Poland right now in regards to Ukraine, like the people in Poland are very much this energy where they are just giving shelter to refugees who are fleeing their country from a dangerous situation. So that's the main energy that's coming here through from this past life of yours. None of these other words or descriptions stands out except witness. But poison and murder, okay. That's the danger that you were providing relief from for whoever you were helping. Okay. All right, so let's look at some of the strengths that are coming out in this lifetime. We have angelic realms with a team effort, charity, validation, and patience. Two messages coming through here. Yes, team effort for sure, because for those working in a witness protection program or just sheltering people or helping them take refuge and safety away from dangerous situations, it's like a team, right? It requires a team. The other thing is you were guided and protected by greater forces, by angels or higher beings, higher vibrational beings that were helping those that were in danger, and you yourself were considered an earth angel as well, which just means that you fit your role quite well in providing relief, either from danger, pain, suffering that these individuals were going through, that they were coming to you. The other strengths we have is golden light ray, with love and laughter, receiving and giving gifts, and passionate projects. Okay. Okay, another message coming through here. So the other part of your strength is being, like an earth angel, just being like a shining ray of light, giving people comfort, shelter, and safety. And I'm getting strong Hierophant energy coming through here. So I think a second group is tuning in right now. A second energy is coming in for this this lifetime. Is being a teacher, a ray of light, a guiding light for those who are seeking that that guidance, for lack of a better word. So for those of you who are not, yeah, interesting. Yeah, a second group, second energy just came in. Yeah, with very strong Hierophant-like energy. So community, helping, guiding, lost people, people who are lost on their path, don't know where to go, are seeking guidance and help, and yeah, mainly guidance. It's the only word that they want to point me towards. 444 just came up on the clock as well. Very strong indicative of angelic vibes coming through and helping here from higher beings. All right, so those were the major strengths coming through here. Absolutely amazing. So let's look at some of the challenges that bumped up in this lifetime here. We have the King of Pentacles, and first I just saw King. Okay. And then we have the Fool. Okay, and then we have the Queen of Swords. Interesting. Okay, a bit of sacrifice energy we're talking about here. Let me clarify this energy real quick. What is the main message coming through in regards to this energy for their weakness, spirit, or their challenge? Okay, they're not giving me anything this one, so we might have to revisit or check out the tarot for that again, but we'll leave that there for now. We get the main energy of the Fool, which they're tying me back to, is the energy of the Fool card is starting and beginning new journeys, but not being aware of the dangers that lies ahead. And I feel like this was not a challenge of your nature, more a challenge of those you were giving shelter and helping. It's like they embark on a journey, say like the Underground Railroad, right? They embark on a journey, they just want to be free, that's their main goal. So they venture out there, but they don't know all the dangers that lie in wait. Or maybe they do, but not to the extent of the minutiae, the details of what could happen out there in the wild while they are on their journey. I feel like, okay. Yeah, I feel like this is a challenge of energy of those you are helping, and you can see or acknowledge that from an outsider's perspective, but trying to convey that message to these people were not easy. It's more so a dual challenge, or a pervasive challenging energy that is felt by those you are helping, and by primarily those you were helping, and kind of having to help them along that way too. I get a lot of energy coming here. The only one that really points to you exactly is this card here. The interesting. Okay. One message at a time, please, Spirit. I'm getting flooded right now, so this energy, it's kind of like the challenge of the people that the refugees were running away from. It's an oppressive energy, very like a tyranny, king-like, oppressive ruler that they were running away from. Pretty much what's happening right now with this situation in Ukraine, of the oppressive kind of stronger forces saying it's my way or the die way. It's literally what's coming through. Yeah, my way or die way. So yeah, that's what you were helping people coming to get away from, to help them. And and also, this is an interesting energy right here, because Yes, it talks about your intelligence and as indicated by the energy of the Queen of Swords. But this holds a very specific energy, and it's about the sacrifice that I'm seeing here. There are times when you have to sacrifice. I don't know exactly what you sacrificed, but there were sacrifices made for both in terms of yourself and perhaps of others that needed to be made for the greater good. Wow, that's coming in painfully here. Is this in regards to what had to be done, Spirit? Yeah, so this is why it feels so painful as a sacrifice. An example that's coming through here is, say, like in that Underground Railroad, right? Say like one person, it's like a group of people are on their way to your shelter, and say like maybe you were close to about being discovered by the authorities, and they were going to find the whole group, but either somebody from that group and you kind of like talk together. It's like, I'll be the scapegoat to help the group escape. It's like, so like maybe like they ran off and the authorities chased after that one person while the rest of the group was able to move on. So it's that kind of sacrifice. I'm getting there's something that you had to give up to, or something that hurt you as well. Maybe a certain connections, maybe certain resources, like somebody you knew who you thought trusted was the trusted for a long time, actually turned out like, well, I don't support like the slaves being freed, or them escaping from their masters. And this was perhaps somebody you were close to, and you're like, well, we are on the opposite sides of the spectrum. Then like I can't really talk to you anymore. Like I can't be a part of your life because I'm giving asylum to these people who are trying to just be free. So part of that sacrifice is perhaps cutting off connections. Yeah, wow. Okay, yeah, that feels heavy on the heart. And the other message coming through, I now see why they chose this tarot to convey this challenge. I mean, this message rather than oracle, because this tarot is the true black tarot, and it often indicates a light in the dark. As you can see with all these figures here, they are in the midst of darkness, but there's a shining light to help guide their way. Pretty much the energy of this past life and what you were this shining light in their time of darkness, and giving them passage and safety. Yeah. Okay, let me grab a drink real quick here. Otherwise, I will not be able to talk. Yes. Okay. Oh, sorry. Wow. Okay, that's a scary energy coming through. So yes, I heard a knock at the door. I'm not sure if that was an actual knock, but that's the energy I was feeling here when that happened. So that's why I was quiet for a second, Lovely Stars. And that's what it felt like in some instances, in some circumstances, when you were helping these people. It's like, wait, did we hear a sound? Did we, it's somebody coming to get us, kind of thing. And you had to be extra careful. Oh, yeah. And you kind of instinctively knew too. So that's why you were able to help these people. Okay. We are getting like intermittent messages about helping guide lost people here from that Hierophant's energy that came in. But it shares very similar energy of guiding, providing lights, providing knowledge, providing shelter, safety onto the path of those who are lost. So yeah. take it as it resonates, that it as it ties in, but it's sharing very similar energy here. All right, let's look at your tarot for the main, or like the most significant message that this past life wants to convey here. So we have strength. Yeah, this takes a lot of strength. We have the Tower. Okay. We have the Moon. Interesting. We have the Eight of Wands. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Sun. And we have the Star. Lovely. Alright, so this energy, the main message that's coming across here is, yes, it took a lot of strength to do this. A lot of resolve is the word that they're using here. Yeah, to at times it seemed very risky. Well, not only at times. This is a very risky endeavor, adventure, venture. So, but it's flipping the system upside down, right? It's like the structure of slavery in America in the past. It was very well established, and to go against this was quite shaking up of the system, but it was divinely guided. Yeah, in its way. I'm getting very strong God's energy coming through here. We have this God's here in the Slavic legends, but I'm also being reminded of Thor, and I'm being reminded of Artemis in combination or in conflagration with Selene, the moon goddess, which are two different goddesses. But yes, Artemis is coming through here as well. Other two gods that are coming through. And Artemis gives direction and guidance. Yes, she was known as the goddess of the hunt, but and Thor is about courage and determination. So those are the main energy coming through here, tying very strongly with strength. Yes, here. And yeah, it was speedy and fast. This reminds me of the tale of the bird that was carrying fire from the heavens to the earth to give it light, so that the earth doesn't kind of wither and die into coldness, or the civilization, or yeah, basically everything that was living on earth. And this is divine guidance again. Yeah, to create a whole new era for those in need, and giving them peace, comfort, and rest. Yeah, and a different pathway too. Okay, the energy was a bit fragmented there. But yes, we have guidance of the gods and mustering the will and the courage to do what you did in this lifetime. So what is it they want, that this lifetime wants to convey? Okay, got it. Before we get into that, let's look into you, Lenormand, so we can tie the message all in together. So okay, the Lenormand form. Oh my goodness, I had it. It's a scattering of energy here. That's okay. We have the conch shell. And it starts, let's put it this way, yes. And this was the spikiness from coming from the conch shell. Okay. All right, so for your first card here, we have the mountain. Yeah, Moses, let my people go kind of energy. We have the cross. Yeah, burdensome institution in more ways than one. And we have the lily, peace, falling right over the star here. Also seeing this as a raven here. So guidance from spirit. And we have the animus, or the man, or the masculine energy. Okay. And we also see the mountain and a vast, okay, parting of the sea here. Wow, okay. Strong confirmation here. Just got a shiver on that. Yeah, okay. So we have references to Moses here when Moses led his people to freedom from the Egyptians, and where he parted the Red Sea, being divinely guided by God. And we have a lot of God's guidings here, and spirit and guidance, a lot from higher realms guidance. So this conch shell, okay, it's like how when you use a conch shell and you blow into it, and the sound reverberates throughout the land, and it calls on those who are able to hear it, but means know that it means a certain something. It's like, oh, like the rest of the land may hear a conch shell calling, but for those who know what it means, it's like, oh, it's time to go, and they pack up and they go. So it's like calling, collecting. It's a signal to those who know what it means to go towards the call. That was a deep message, okay. So yes, we know it was a challenge, and we see divine intervention here twice, with the clouds coming here and the lightning bolt, to break away from old established institution, the same energy as the tower here, and to lead onto new ways, new paradigm, which requires the masculine energy, the divine masculine energy here, the young, strong force to action and movement, and taking change here, taking actions and steps towards change, to provide a new era of peace, serenity, comfort, and choices and options for people. Okay, now we can finally tie in the last message. And the last message, or the main message in regards to the tarot and the Lenormand in combination of what this lifetime wants to convey, is that if you are working towards a greater cause right now, especially if you're trying to bring down structure or paradigms that are well established to give some sort of benefit to the mass populace or to a greater population, you are divinely guided to do so. There's a lot of gods and higher inspiration, higher beings guidance here. The message is like a lot throughout this reading. So that's one message. So yes, if you're working towards some sort of significant goal like that, to give people peace, shelter, nourishment, reprieve, a relief from their suffering, the situation, it is highly encouraged because you are divinely guided to do this. Yes. And just as you did in the past lifetime or in a past lifetime, to help people get away from this oppression, this suffering, you are encouraged to do it again. And it's interesting. Wow, that's why your pile is the only one that kind of significantly stand out. From all the other 3 piles, they all had an option in terms of what they want to pursue in regards to their current present lifetime, in regards to the lessons of their past lifetime. For you, of course, you still have free will and you still have free choice to do what you want to do. But yours, I think, is the only pile that is highly encouraged, because it's as if you're carrying on from the past lifetime energy to this current lifetime, to continue this mission, this path, in a different way, of course. Back then, it may have been the Underground Railroad, and this lifetime, it may be something different. And that's going to apply differently for everybody. Oh, now we're getting the energy of the Fool coming through. Starting a new path, a new cycle. Can we get a bit more of advice in regards to how they can approach the Spirit? No need. You are quite divinely guided, so you know what to do. It's the matter of taking the action, and trusting in your higher self to achieve this purpose. And that's all they want me to say. Okay, wow, wonderful. Number 4. Absolutely magical. So yeah, that was your reading for today in regards to this past lifetime. If you liked it, found it insightful, fun, please do give that like button a tap, subscribe if you haven't already for more messages. Thank you so much for joining me today for this reading. I hope you have a wonderful, magical day. Take care of yourself, shine bright, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye, lovely stars.